What is good, YouTube? I decided to make a 16-man bracket of the hardest hitters in the UFC. This is based off the stats of the fighters. I got the bracket sorted out in seeds. We got Francis 100 power, and then there's Lewis 99, Sergey, and Alex Pereira. They all have 99. And then basically it's just sorted from there. The highest power is going to be versus the lowest power first, and then maybe they'll meet at the end. And to make this more interesting, I decided to make the damage go up 2 more than what it normally was. The format for the tournament is stand and bang because we're trying to figure out who has the best power, not who's going to wrestle. Alright, and for the first fight of the day, we have Francis Ngannou versus Volkan Ozdemir. The first 2 rounds went very similar. It was a slow-paced fight where Francis got rocked a couple times. Volkan tried to go for a front kick, but he runs into a Francis straight right that sits him down. After that, Francis lands a head kick that sits him down. Volkan tries to get his boxing going. He rocks Ngannou, and then he ends up just missing a couple more shots. Volkan lands a big elbow and a knee that rocks Francis bad that has him on the back foot. Round 3, Francis tried to go for a glove touch, but Volkan didn't want any of that and he rocked him bad. It wasn't looking good for Francis till he lands an uppercut hook combination that sits him down and lands an overhand to finish the fight. Next fight in the tournament, we got Jared Cannonier versus Justin Gaethje. They started out swinging and banging, but also, I don't know why the hell they're the same size. UFC 5 better change that, because I think bantamweight O'Malley actually might be bigger than them both in the game, so they should fix that. But anyways, after the rock in the beginning of the fight, it really went downhill for Jared Cannonier. He just kept getting pieced up. He got his back on the fence until he finally got KO'd. Okay, in the third fight in the tournament, we got Cody Garbrandt taking on Rosenstrike. The size difference was huge in this matchup, but it didn't really seem to matter because Cody Garbrandt did end up sleeping him at the end of round 1. Okay, before we get to the next fight, I gotta say, if you look at Francis, it says round 1 KO. That's because I accidentally simmed, so I had to go ahead and rig the first 3 fights to get back where we were at. But anyways, other than that problem, we got Derek Lewis taking on Roundtree. Wasn't looking too good for Francis in the beginning, but he did end up coming back with a head kick that rocks Khalil Roundtree. Lewis started to put on the pressure. He gets a knockdown, but Khalil Roundtree was going to respond back on his own, getting his own combination that got Derek Lewis wobbling back. Roundtree tries to go for a high kick, but he ends up getting dropped by a left hook. And then he's going to stand up, but that's okay because Derek Lewis is going to sit him down right back again with an uppercut. Roundtree kept getting up, but too bad for him. It was the end of the road. He just took way too much damage. Now on the other side of the bracket, we got the number 2 seed Sergey Pavlovich taking on Michael Chandler. This fight is not meant to go past the first round, and that's exactly what happened as Michael Chandler throws a high kick that puts Sergey to sleep. Now in the next fight, we got Jamal Hill taking on Josh Emmett. Another big size difference, but that wasn't holding Josh Emmett back from rocking Jamal Hill. There wasn't a lot of leg kicks being thrown, but Josh Emmett got his leg rocked, and then all of a sudden his leg health was just down to nothing, and Jamal Hill just kept kicking his leg out. Josh Emmett wasn't going to give up, but unfortunately for him, that was the end of the road. His leg just took way too much damage, and he couldn't hold it. In this next one, Figueiredo ended up dropping Tuivasa right off the bat with a wheel kick. And if y'all seen the last tournament, Tai Tuivasa didn't do too good as Justin Gaethje slept him like in the first round after like 4 knockdowns back to back. But now he's taking on Deiveson Figueiredo, which is a lot more of a winnable matchup, but he was getting rocked again, and he was getting dropped a lot. Tuivasa tries to go for a flying knee that does nothing except get him caught. Figueiredo was putting on the pressure. He ended up rocking him with a head kick, and then he was letting his boxing go off. Tried to go for another head kick, but he gets nothing out of it. Tai Tuivasa throws up a head kick that actually lands on the fence. He tries another, but it doesn't get him anywhere. Tuivasa did get dropped, but he comes back strong with a head kick and a straight left right behind it that sits him down, and goes with a straight left right when he stands up to sit him down once again. This fight basically went to the same direction, a back and forth swing and bang fight that they kept knocking each other down multiple times. So there was no way this fight was going to the distance, and that's exactly what happened. One of them had enough. In this next fight, I was excited for it, but it didn't waste no time. Yerbrahasa goes for a front kick, Pereira going for body jabs, just like he was doing in the last video, spamming body jabs. And as you know, that's the worst base for these tournaments. And now we hit the quarterfinals. Then this next fight is a big one. We got Francis Ngannou taking on Justin Gaethje. Francis Ngannou does have 100 power, but at the same time, he's not even meant to be in the video. This is supposed to be only UFC fighters, but since he's the only fighter with 100 power, I felt right to put him in. This fight was really good. They were just swinging and banging, knocking each other down multiple times. And after multiple knockdowns, they did make it out of round 1. but it was definitely not going to make it out of round 2. Round 2 starts, Justin Gaethje rocks him straight off the bat, and he kept putting on the pressure to Francis Ngannou. And after a big brawl, Francis finally gets KO'd by a jab. In this next fight, we got 2 hit-and-miss fighters taking on each other, so one of them got to win. We got Cody Garbrandt taking on Derek Lewis, and Derek Lewis started off good, getting 3 drops. Just under a minute in like 10 seconds. But Cody Garbrandt does land like a super good counter that got Derek Lewis on the back foot and does get a knockdown of his own. But the Black Beast wasn't having none of that. He drops him with an uppercut and attempts a hand plant roundhouse, but it goes over Garbrandt's head. And they start off round 3. Once they get together, they just start swinging. But Derek Lewis did get the better of it. He started putting on the pressure to Cody Garbrandt. Garbrandt was swinging back himself, but he ended up getting clipped. In this next one, we got Michael Chandler taking on Jamal Hill. I was hoping for a fun one as the last one. Jamal Hill won with leg kicks. Round 1 wasn't that bad. In round 2, Michael Chandler comes out with a big overhand that rocks Jamal Hill. And Chandler goes in to pressure him. He goes for a leg kick and he gets checked. And just like that, Jamal Hill's back at it with the leg kicks. Chandler lands a big combo that rocks Jamal Hill, but Jamal Hill is going to come back with a leg kick that takes Chandler off his feet. Now round 2 is starting to get to an end, but Michael Chandler goes with a big overhand that sits down Jamal Hill. Start of round 3, Jamal Hill lands a nice calf kick, but Michael Chandler is going to come back with his own check. Then they come together and they get this nice collision where Chandler lands an overhand, but Jamal Hill lands a leg kick. And then literally like 20 seconds later, it was the same thing, except Chandler got him with a left hook. And Jamal Hill back at it with them leg kicks, like, come on. Jamal Hill was actually starting to get me mad because he is going for leg kicks, and this video is supposed to be for the hardest hitter, and he's over here spamming leg kicks. And after 3 rounds, Jamal Hill is the only fighter to win by leg kick TKO and go to the decision. So he was meant to lose. Michael Chandler did end up getting the decision win though. But now we got Figueiredo. He took on a heavyweight last fight, and now he's taking on a light heavyweight in Yuri Prochazka. Yuri starts out rocking him with a right hand. Figueiredo comes back swinging and moving his head, but he still ends up getting caught by an uppercut that gets him rocked at the end of round 1. Figgy landed a front kick that Yuri eats because he's just built different. Lands a spinning bat fist that rocks Figueiredo, sits him down with a double hook. But this fight was just going the same direction. It was a total mismatch. Yuri just kept on rocking him and dropping him all the time. Went for a high kick that barely misses, but he gets his spinning elbow knockdown. Yuri puts his head straight into a front kick that rocks him, and right when Figgy thinks he's back in the fight, he gets KO'd by an uppercut. Now the semifinal should be a fun one. We got Justin Gaethje taking on Derek Lewis and Michael Chandler taking on Yuri Prochazka. Gaethje and Lewis started as expected, where they were coming after each other's head. Justin Gaethje sits him down with a Superman punch. Gaethje attempts a spinning elbow that gets him rocked by a straight right and a left hand right behind it. Derek Lewis comes out with a straight right and a left hand right behind it once again that rocks Gaethje. Derek Lewis tries to go for the kill, but Justin Gaethje moves out of the shots and gets a body shot that sits down Lewis. Round's getting close to the end. Gaethje starts throwing some spinning shit, but Derek Lewis ends up catching him with an uppercut and a left hook right behind it. Gaethje starts throwing more spinning shit, but he gets pushed back by Derek Lewis's front kick. Then Gaethje goes head, body, and then he has Derek Lewis on the back foot. Gaethje got him on the back foot, but he starts to throw more spinning shit that gets him caught once again. Now Justin Gaethje's wobbling backwards, but Derek Lewis comes out throwing but doesn't land anything. Derek Lewis throws out a jab just to get countered by a 4-piece. At this point, Derek Lewis is hurt really bad, and now he's just trying to avoid Justin Gaethje's shots, but he ends up getting caught anyways. Lewis tries to throw back, but Justin Gaethje just lands an insane combo that got him on the back foot, and basically that was the end of the road. I guess y'all just gotta watch this KO. This next fight did not disappoint as they both throw overhands that Michael Chandler gets the better of with a head kick right behind it that sits down Yuri. But Yuri makes sure to come back with an elbow and a double uppercut that sits down Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler tries to walk down Yuri, tries to throw a combination, but he just gets caught while he's throwing. Chandler tries to walk forward again just to get sit down by Yuri's right hook. In the second round, Michael Chandler tries to go for a big overhand, but he just runs into a knee that sits him down. In round 2, Yuri Prochazka just started piecing up Michael Chandler, and Michael Chandler didn't know how to handle it as he got knocked down multiple times. And he kept standing up just trying to walk forward, but soon enough was going to be enough. Michael Chandler kept going for the same overhand, but it ended up just getting him caught. After a tournament of just swinging and banging, we finally got the final matchup of Justin Gaethje versus Yuri Prochazka to see who is the hardest hitter in the UFC. Justin Gaethje starts out throwing Superman punches. Then he throws a spinning bat fist that ends up just getting him caught, but he's swinging back and he rocks Yuri back. The first round was not disappointing. They came out swinging. Gaethje tries to go for a hook, but he ends up getting countered by an uppercut that sits him down. Yuri throws a big overhand and a hook, but Justin Gaethje ducks under it and rocks him to the body. Then Justin Gaethje goes for a big Superman punch, but he gets dropped by Yuri's overhand. In round 2, they go for a glove touch. Justin Gaethje goes for a rolling thunder right off the bat, but he gets nothing out of it. Gaethje throws a kick with no setup, and Yuri Prochazka just sits him down. Yuri tried to catch him with a spinning elbow, but he lands an overhand instead, and then he gets a head kick that goes right over his head. Then Gaethje lands a huge overhand that sits him down. And again, Justin Gaethje goes for another Superman punch. He gets sit down by an overhand once again. And Yuri comes out throwing another overhand just to run into a kick. Then Gaethje throws a couple more punches that sits down Yuri. Yuri was running down his stamp. Gaethje was looking to counter, but instead he just got slept. And there you have it. Yuri Prochazka sleeps Justin Gaethje in round 2 to become the hardest hitter in the UFC. Alright, and if you guys got any ideas for tournaments, make sure to drop a comment and I'll see if I can do it.